Thank you for joining. Today's discussion is not about another product. It is about a new institutional category emerging in U.S. higher education. The Briea Student Care Assurance Program is built specifically for partners. Universities are not asking for another wellness app, another counseling vendor, or another point solution. They are asking, who can help us address a new institutional risk? That risk sits at governance, liability, retention, and reputation. This is where student care assurance belongs and where partners can lead. Student well-being has crossed a threshold. It is no longer contained within student affairs. It now appears in board oversight, CFO models, legal review, and more importantly, in accreditation discussions. When pressures reach this level, institutions don't seek new vendors. They turn to trusted partners. The data is unambiguous. More than 1/3 of U.S. students accessed mental health services last year. Over 20% report emotional distress harming academics. Rates of anxiety, depression, and sleep disorders have more than doubled in a decade. At this scale, well-being is population risk, not an edge case. Population risk requires infrastructure. Universities have invested heavily in counseling. Yet counseling centers reach only about 10 to 15% of students annually. Wait times routinely stretch into weeks. These are not execution failures. They are structural limits of reactive, appointment-based models. Universities now know this and are seeking systemic complements. From a financial lens, this matters deeply. Each student loss costs institutions between $15,000 and $25,000 per year. Even a 0.5% increase in attrition can erase close to $1 million annually. Well-being-driven attrition is often undocumented, misattributed, and most of the time detected too late. That is why CFOs are now involved. Insurers now classify student mental health incidents as a growing underwriting risk. After incidents, scrutiny centers on evidence. Was care proactive? Was engagement continuous? Were escalation rules defined? Were actions documented? Intent is no longer enough. Defensibility is evidence-based. Universities already have counseling policies and crisis protocols. What they lack is daily proactive engagement, lifestyle-based early signals, anonymized population insight, and significantly documented duty of care. This is not a clinical gap. It is an institutional gap and therefore a fundable category. Student care assurance is not therapy or counseling access. It is institutional infrastructure that allows universities to show clearly and defensibly that they are engaging students proactively before crisis. That distinction is what makes this category safe, scalable, and partner-ownable. Mental health does not exist in isolation. Sleep, physical activity, diet, substance use, and metabolic health are all strongly correlated with anxiety, depression, and cognitive performance. Most campus solutions ignore these drivers because addressing them at scale is difficult. Briea was designed around this reality. Briea operates on proactive engagement. Students are engaged daily through voice, messaging, and app-based interactions, embedded into normal routines. The DIY-first model reduces stigma, preserves human resources, and enables population-scale reach. This is how institutions move from intent to execution. Briea uses validated, widely accepted instruments, applied longitudinally. Results are interpreted instantly, translated into guided action, and tracked over time. This allows early intervention and documented improvement, not just snapshots. Escalation is proportional. Most students remain in DIY care. Escalation occurs only when sustained risk appears. Identity is masked by default and revealed only when thresholds are crossed, and only to authorized roles. This delivers visibility without surveillance. Leadership sees anonymized trends, cohorts, and documented actions, not individuals. Dashboards are designed for boards, counsel, insurers, and accreditors. This is where engagement becomes institutional assurance. Building this internally would require years of investment across AI, behavioral science, privacy architecture, and governance reporting. Most partners recognize this quickly. Partnership allows you to extend into a new category without absorbing that risk. There are approximately 4,000 degree-granting institutions and 18 million students in the U.S. student care assurance applies across institution types. This is not niche demand, it is national infrastructure. Preventing even 0.5% of attrition preserves significant revenue. Student care assurance budgets represent a fraction of 1% of tuition revenue. That makes pricing defensible and renewals durable. This is rare in SaaS. Revenue is driven by board urgency, CFO logic, and importantly, GC approval. Contracts are multi-year. Churn is low. Expansion is natural. Briea integrates seamlessly with platforms and services you already provide. You gain differentiation without rebuilding your product. We support white label, co-brand, API integration, reseller, revenue share, and managed services overlays. Partner-led growth is intentional. The question is, who will own the category? Student care assurance will become standard institutional infrastructure. Briea Student Care Assurance is about institutional assurance and partner-led growth. We believe partners like you are best positioned to lead this category. Thank you for your time and consideration. The next step is simple. Let us connect and talk.